Hi folks, today we're going to talk Chapter 3, Brainstorming a Topic for a Speech. Brainstorming a topic can be challenging because there's so many different options, and getting started seems to always be the tricky part. So when you're thinking about a speech topic, the most important thing to think about is, why am I speaking? What is the purpose of the assignment? What is the purpose of the connection with the audience that you'll have? So who is my audience? How much time do I have? What's going on in my community, or things that are being talked about in my sphere that I can share about? So these are important questions that can help you get started on narrowing down a field or a general topic for your speech. Now, there are two really great brainstorming strategies that your chapter talks about. One is exploratory, which is all about sparking curiosity, and another is mind mapping, is to make those connections logically in your brain. And you can always think about brainstorming as an adventure. It's a great way to conduct a personal inventory, explore online, search for what fills you up or what interests you, because if you're interested in your topic, your audience is going to be far more engaged as well. Again, more about that personal inventory. There's a lot of really great online personal inventories that you can Google and you can fill out on your own. Some of those questions include, what are your hobbies or interests? What goals or challenges do you face? What are issues that are happening and impacting our community? And then, what are some topics that make me pause and think and make me wonder? You want to have good answers for those types of questions because your audience is going to be looking for those as well. Now, when it comes to online learning, I do want to emphasize and give you a word of caution. There are two big myths that people have, and one is Wikipedia is bad. Wikipedia should never be cited as an academic source. Please don't cite it in your research because Wikipedia is always changing and we don't know who the contributors are. If you don't know who the author is, it's probably not a great source to use. But Wikipedia is great for understanding basic and complex ideas, getting the gist. You can also find really great credible sources located at the bottom of the Wikipedia page. So looking at that citation, that works cited area is really powerful. The other one is, information is neutral. False. Proceed with caution. We all have perspectives and ideas, and it is natural for us and any writer or person to put their bias or their lens on a topic or idea. So being aware of ideas, propaganda, internet search algorithms. Google's trained to put at the top what we're most likely to click on based on our search history. So proceed with caution there. Also, the SIFT method is a really great method that our library uses to help stop and think about the sources that we're accessing, investigate the sources, like looking for those works cited and that credibility, the dates that it was published, finding better coverage, finding information that is non-biased, that is going to be effective. And sometimes that takes a little bit of work. And then you can trace the claims, you can verify that information in other places too. So using the SIFT method as you're exploring online is really important to make sure that you're getting accurate and credible information. So many people, unfortunately, find a lot of their information on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit. And that's not to say that the information there is bad, and that's not to say that can spark interest and engagement. But again, we go back to internet algorithms. They're trained to show us what we want to view instead of something that's neutral and non-biased. Influencers might also be sponsored. There are certain people that get pushed to the top of our different algorithms on our different websites, so it's so important to double and triple check our work. When you're doing research, here's me with my daughter a few years ago, think about what you're already an expert in. What do you already know? What drives your curiosity? You can also consider what jobs you might have held or experience that you've had in other places. Think about your hobbies, your activities, your associations. When you have background experience in something that you're talking about, whether it is academic research or not, you are more credible. It establishes your ethos. Are there things that you volunteer doing, or do you spend time in extracurriculars? What have you read a lot about? And then reflect on your experiences. what issues are on your heart. I use that picture from COVID saying when health was a huge issue of our community and our country, obviously that was a big topic to talk about. So maybe you have some experiences or some matters of the heart that you want to share more information about. Again, Google searching is great for brainstorming ideas. It's just a starting point. I also really like going to the TED website because they have all these different filters and all these different subtopics that you can click the link right here to go and see, but something that might stir your creativity or your curiosity. And if you find an inspiring TED Talk, that's a really great resource and can help guide you in that process. Again, big questions to ask yourself. What is the time requirement? We want to make sure our topic is not too broad or too narrow, and that we can use and substantiate that information with credible research. Thinking about our audience is also important too, and how we might structure the speech. Topics should require research, and something that, I encourage you to use something that you're already knowledgeable or interested in. Those topics should be clear and not too broad or too narrow. So be thinking about your topic for your next speech, and I look forward to hearing all the great ideas that you come up with. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions, especially with coming up with a topic.